Rangers Football Club have made their move, and the football world in Scotland is buzzing. Russell Martin has officially been named the new manager at Ibrox, and the decision has lit a fire under the fan base like few in recent memory. For some supporters, this feels like the dawn of a new era, a bold, progressive appointment that signals a shift towards a more modern and dynamic style of football. They see Martin as a breath of fresh air, someone who can instill a clearer identity, bring high-energy performances back to the pitch, and connect with a younger, more technically focused generation of players. The optimism is real, and so is the belief that this could be the start of something significant. But let's not sugarcoat it. Not everyone is convinced. For every fan celebrating the news, there's another furrow in their brow, wondering whether this is really the right man for the job. Questions are flying left and right. Is Martin experienced enough at the top level? Does he understand the pressure cooker that is managing Rangers Football Club, where every draw feels like a defeat and every defeat feels like a disaster? Is he truly ready to compete head-to-head with Celtic and reclaim the Scottish Premiership title? These aren't minor doubts. They're real, and they're being voiced by fans, pundits, and ex-players alike. The Ibrox faithful demand success, and fast. And for some, Martin still feels like a gamble. But here's the twist. This was not a rushed or impulsive decision. Despite the debate online and in pubs across Glasgow, sources close to the club are now shedding light on the meticulous process behind Martin's appointment. It wasn't just about finding someone with a slick tactical plan or a few good interviews. This was about identifying a leader who aligns with the long-term vision of the new Rangers board, a manager who can build a sustainable footballing project rather than simply patch holes or chase short-term wins. This was strategy, not sentiment. After the recent ownership transition and the US-based consortium completing their takeover, there's been a clear shift in how Rangers operate behind the scenes. The appointment of Russell Martin is the first major footballing decision under this new structure, and it's one that was led by Chief Executive Patrick Stewart and new Sporting Director Kevin Felwell. These are figures who understand modern football, who've worked in clubs where data culture and process matter just as much as results. They didn't want a stopgap solution. They wanted someone to lead a transformation. Russell Martin might not be a name that screams marquee signing in the way that some high-profile older managers do, but his CV tells a deeper story. At only 39 years old, he's already managed over 250 matches across MK Dons Swansea, City and Southampton. And yes, while he was ultimately let go by Southampton, it's worth remembering he took them back to the Premier League and did it playing a brand of football that turned heads in the Championship. His teams keep the ball. They build from the back. They press high. They play with courage. That's the identity he brings, and that's what excited the Rangers board. From the top down, the message is clear. Patrick Stewart, speaking during the club's announcement, laid it out with no ambiguity. The criteria was specific: someone who could deliver a recognizable playing style, improve the team culture, develop the squad, and, above all, win. In Stewart's own words, Martin was the standout candidate. This isn't about rolling the dice. This is about setting a foundation and building a team capable of dominating not just in Scotland, but on European nights as well. Kevin Felwell doubled down, pointing out that the board had held in-depth conversations with Martin over recent weeks and were impressed by his growth and experience, especially after facing the pressures of managing in the Premier League. Felwell talked about Martin's tactical acumen, his leadership qualities, and the way his teams dominate possession, dictate tempo, and work aggressively off the ball. These aren't empty buzzwords. They're part of a clear footballing philosophy that the Rangers hierarchy believes will translate into winning football. New chairman Andrew Kavanagh, too, made it clear that this was not a rushed hire. He described the recruitment process as thorough and rigorous, and said Martin embodies what Rangers are trying to build, not just in terms of results, but in creating a winning culture and strengthening the infrastructure of the club. From player development to scouting to tactical identity, the new board wants synergy. And in Russell Martin, they believe they've found someone who can bring that vision to life. Still, the questions remain. One of the major talking points now is how Martin will shape his backroom staff. Will he bring in familiar faces from his previous jobs, or will he retain some of the existing coaches already working within the club? One name currently in the spotlight is Ismail Sharai, who joined Rangers as an assistant late in Philippe Clément's reign and was one of the few to remain after the Belgian manager's dismissal. Jerry worked during the interim period alongside Barry Ferguson, Neil McCann, Billy Dodds, and Alan McGregor. His future at the club is uncertain, especially now with Belgian side Beerschot reportedly showing strong interest in taking him as their new manager. Whether Martin chooses to keep him or not could say a lot about the type of environment he wants to create behind the scenes. Meanwhile, there are still big decisions to be made across the squad. One of the standout stories from last season was the impressive form of Czech winger Václav Černý. On loan from Wolfsburg, Černý bagged 18 goals and 9 assists during what was otherwise a turbulent campaign for the club. Fans were hopeful that a permanent deal might be on the cards, but with Wolfsburg likely demanding a high fee and Černy's wages presenting a challenge, it's looking unlikely. The player himself has said he doesn't yet know where he'll be playing next season, only that he's due back in Germany after the loan ended and without a buy option. It's clear that Martin will have to hit the ground running when it comes to squad planning, and fast. And then there's the situation with Nicolas Raskin. The Belgian midfielder had a mixed campaign, but former boss Philippe Clément has spoken in glowing terms about him during international duty. Clément even believes Raskin is ready for a move to a mid-table Premier League side, citing his tactical maturity and growing leadership qualities. Remember, Clement handed him the captain's armband in that massive Old Firm win back in January when James Tavernier was out. According to Clement, Raskin has what it takes to thrive in England, but he needs to make the right move and ensure he gets regular playing time. That kind of external praise only adds another layer of intrigue as Russell Martin steps into the manager's office at Ibrox. With players like Raskin potentially drawing interest and others like Černý uncertain about their futures, Martin inherits not just a team, but a complex puzzle to solve. He needs to stamp his identity on the squad, quickly build trust with the players, and navigate what is always a high-pressure summer window at Rangers. The expectations are massive, as they always are at Ibrox. Fans want results, silverware European nights to remember, and above all, a team they can believe in. Martin knows this. Everyone around the club knows this. The room for error is small, and the pressure is relentless. But this is the job. This is Rangers. What we've seen so far is the beginning of a new era, not just in name, but in philosophy. The challenge for Martin now is to take all that belief, all that planning, and turn it into performances, because that Rangers talk is never enough. It's what happens on the pitch that truly counts. As Russell Martin settles into his new role at Ibrox, the reality of what lies ahead begins to take shape. There's no easing into a job like this. Rangers is not a club that allows time for experiments or slow-burning projects. The expectations are sky high from day one, and every training session, press conference, and pre-season friendly will be scrutinized. Martin doesn't just have to win. He has to convince, to inspire, and to show that this club is headed back to the summit of Scottish football under his command. The pressure will come from all angles. The media will dig into every tactical decision. Former players will offer their critiques with zero filters. And of course, the fans, fiercely loyal but equally demanding, will expect to see identity and purpose in every performance. Russell Martin knows the club. He wore the jersey. He understands what it means to walk through the tunnel at Ibrox. But managing Rangers is an entirely different beast. It's about man management, navigating politics, outsmarting your rivals, and producing results week in, week out. Preseason will be crucial. Martin has to use that window not just to build fitness, but to embed his ideas, assess his squad, and identify where reinforcements are needed. The transfer market will be a key battleground. With Celtic already building under Brendan Rodgers and showing signs of stability, Rangers cannot afford to fall behind. The squad as it stands has talent, but also clear weaknesses. A new goalkeeper may be needed depending on Jack Butland's future. The midfield still lacks depth and balance, especially if Raskin were to move on. And up front, there's a real question around who leads the line, especially after inconsistent contributions from strikers last season. Martin is known for his commitment to possession-based football. He likes his teams to play out from the back, to take risks in build-up, and to dominate the tempo of matches. That might sound appealing, and it is. But it also comes with its own set of challenges, especially in the Scottish Premiership. Not every pitch is perfect. Not every opponent sits back. And the margin for error is slim. If Rangers try to overplay in risky areas and it leads to goals conceded, the backlash will be instant. So Martin has to adapt to bring his philosophy without becoming stubborn. Flexibility might be just as important as principles. The good news is he's not alone in this. The new board is clearly aligned with him and has a unified vision for what Rangers should be. The appointment of Kevin Felwell as sporting director signals a more structured approach to recruitment and development. No more scattergun signings. The idea now is to build a squad with purpose, with players that fit the system, the culture, and the expectations of the badge. That doesn't mean big spending. It means smart spending. The days of throwing money at names without a plan are over. Every signing has to be calculated, every contract carefully considered. But strategy alone won't win games. It's going to come down to how quickly Martin can get the team playing his way. The fans will want signs of life early. Signs that this is not just another reboot, but a genuine step forward. That means intensity. That means pressing high. Winning second balls, showing hunger. That means young players being given chances and experienced ones being held accountable. Nobody gets a free ride anymore. Under Martin, the message is likely to be clear. If you don't buy in, you don't play. There's also the European front to consider. Rangers have built a strong reputation in continental competitions in recent years, reaching a Europa League final and consistently punching above their weight. That success has kept the club's profile high and brought in crucial revenue. Martin will be expected to maintain that level, if not raise it. Qualifying for the group stages of major European tournaments isn't just a target, it's a necessity. And given the limited time before qualifiers begin, he'll have to move quickly to get his squad prepared. One of the more underappreciated aspects of this rebuild will be the dressing room dynamic. Leadership matters, and Martin needs to quickly identify who the key voices are. James Tavernier remains a pivotal figure, but questions about his long-term role have started to surface. Is it time to phase in new leaders? Is there a need for fresh energy both on and off the pitch? These are delicate decisions, but they define seasons. Martin will need to manage personalities as much as tactics to inspire belief and bring unity to a squad that at times last season looked fractured. At the same time, he'll be dealing with external noise. The city of Glasgow lives and breathes football, and the rivalry with Celtic is unforgiving. Every Rangers manager is judged in relation to what's happening across the city. If Celtic start fast and Rangers stumble, the pressure could become suffocating. That's why Martin's start is so vital. He needs momentum, and he needs it early. Behind the scenes, the buzz is growing. Fans are hopeful, intrigued, maybe even a little cautious. But there's something different this time. It doesn't feel like a desperate reset. It feels like a new structure, a fresh approach, and a willingness to think differently. Russell Martin represents that. He's young, modern, tactically aware, and unafraid to make bold decisions. Whether he succeeds will depend on 1,000 factors. Injuries form transfers mentality, but the platform is there. Now it's about action. Words and press releases are nice, but what matters is what happens when the whistle blows. Russell Martin has been handed the keys to one of the biggest clubs in Britain. He has a fan base behind him, at least for now. But make no mistake, that support is conditional. Show progress, and they'll back him to the end. Show weakness, and the walls will close in fast. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. There's a right-out rumor sweeping through Govan this week as whispers grow louder that young Swedish sensation Gustaf FALLENIUS is set to light up Ibrox, leaving Celtic fans in pure disarray. The 25-year-old winger, known for his blistering pace and deadly left foot, has allegedly arrived in Glasgow with the kind of swagger that's got Rangers supporters dreaming of silverware. While their Parkhead rivals are left scunnered by their club's apparent lack of ambition in the market. No official confirmation has been made yet, but sources close to the club suggest FALLENIUS has been spotted training behind closed doors at Oaken Howie, looking sharp and ready to hit the ground running. The Swedish press, always quick to spot a story, claim that the deal is as good as done. with the player keen to prove himself in one of Europe's most ferocious football cauldrons. Meanwhile, across the city, the mood at Celtic Park is anything but cheery. With Brendan Rodgers allegedly growing frustrated at the lack of reinforcements, the Hoops faithful can't help but feel that their Glaswegian rivals are pulling ahead in the transfer stakes. Some fans online are even calling this a power shift, though such talk is always dangerous in the tempestuous landscape of Scottish football. FALLENIUS, if the rumors hold true, could well be the spark Rangers need to push them ahead. Old Celtic in the title race. His style, direct, fearless, and technically astute, suits the high-octane nature of Scottish Premiership battles. But as with all things in the west of Scotland, nothing is guaranteed until the ink is dry and the scarf is held aloft. It remains to be seen whether this move will materialize. But one thing's for certain, the arrival of FALLENIUS at Rangers, even as just a rumor, has already sent shockwaves through the city. Celtic are left wondering how they've let another top prospect slip by, while Rangers fans are already chanting his name in anticipation. The next few days will reveal whether this is mere transfer window patter or a genuine coup that'll leave Celtic well and truly in the lurch. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated. By Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.